Republican lawmakers are backing President Trump's efforts to stop the flow of drugs into the U.S. Here's Iowa Senator Joni Ernst.
I fully support the president in his efforts to get rid of the scourge of drugs here in the United States. And going after those narco-terrorists is extremely important. This is a big flex to show Venezuela and Maduro that we're not going to take it anymore.
Let's bring in retired U.S. Army Colonel and former Airborne Ranger Phil Williams. Phil, thank you so much for being here. What is your response to those who are looking at these actions as warmongering? It's hawkish. It's something that could potentially put us towards regime change in Venezuela. What's your response to that?
Well, I think, first of all, they're denying history. Let's go back and look at President George H.W. Bush, who in 1989 invaded Panama. And we're not even talking about an invasion right now. The president said even today he's not looking for regime change, but there are shades here of exactly what we saw in the buildup towards the Panama invasion, Operation Just Cause. And so, yeah, I think absolutely the president is acting within his authority. The hand wringers and the pearl clutchers are usually wrong on everything, and they're showing it once again. But I do believe the president is well within his constitutional authorities to do what he's doing right now. And this is absolutely a reasonable use of the U.S. military.
How do you see this playing out moving forward? Do you suspect that we will have a more permanent position in the Caribbean between Venezuela and the island nations of the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, where we know drugs are being shipped to those islands and then it kind of makes its way from there around the world? And do you also maybe foresee us getting involved on the ground in places like Mexico?
Well, I think, first of all, what's the buildup you're seeing right now in the Caribbean with the Naval Strike Force and the Marine Expeditionary Unit being on station, and we are literally putting a signal in place for all of the Central and South American nations and for Mexico that we are no longer going to play footsie with narco-terrorism. But the reality is, too, I don't think we're going to see boots on the ground no time soon. I really don't. I do believe, though, you're looking at the pressures that are going to be brought on Venezuela, that Maduro is probably not long for his office, even if his own people wind up having to do something about it. But we have a presence there. Think about things like Grenada. We've had the Dominican Republic. We were there in the 60s. And of course, Haiti, we were there in a major, stabilization role not long ago. And then, of course, we have our basing in Puerto Rico. So we certainly have a presence in the Caribbean already. And what you're watching right now, though, is a major ramp up in the war on narco-terrorism.
I wonder, do you think we would have had 400,000 deaths with fentanyl poisoning over the course of the 4 years in the Biden administration had we done this earlier? Had we organized this and classified these cartels and criminal organizations as narco-terrorists and used our military force the way in which we're using it now?
Well, I got to tell you, the Biden administration spent an awful lot of time making the vaunted U.S. military into a petri dish for social experimentation. And the fact that we left our borders wide open. All we did was give an invitation for narcotics terrorists and for other malign actors around the world to have free reign to do what they wanted to do. I think what you're watching right now is absolutely what is necessary. And no, I don't think that we would see near the level of overdose death from things like fentanyl and crack and methamphetamine and all the rest, the precursors being brought in from China, by the way. And so, yeah, I think this is absolutely going to put a crimp in the narcotics cartels style.
Well, Nicolas Maduro and Tren de Aragua have certainly been put on notice, as have all the other transnational narco-terrorists. So we shall see how this either escalates or de-escalates from here. Colonel Phil Williams, thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.